How's it going, everybody? I'm Todd Sanders, and today I have a kind of nifty little project of sorts that I did for a class on a very, very old gun. And I'll flip around the table and I'll show you. Actually, one second, I'm moving one of the projects. Okay, so here we have Stevens Model 73, the main receiver bits. Some of you maybe who appreciate older firearms are probably hating what you're looking at right now, but basically what this is, yeah, Stevens Model 73, markings are right there. The vice grip was not kind to this when I threaded our barrel here. You can see there's a lot of corrosion on it. I actually got this gun for free from an old lady I was helping move. We just found it in her basement, and she was like, "Oh, I have no idea what that is. I didn't know we had that. Do you want it?" And so I said, "Yeah, I want it. I'll take it." So it looked way worse than this. I let it soak in a bag of gun oil for about 2 weeks, and then I put it all back together, and I'll show you the wood stock that I had on that. Alright, so here was the wood stock. This is the one it came with. I actually did some custom work on it. I cut some finger grooves in it. I found that the grip was really bulky and uncomfortable, so I thinned it down with a Dremel tool, gave it some etchings for fingers, and kind of smoothed out some places where my fingers had a hard time getting around it. I was about 13 years old when I first got it, so my hands have grown a little bit larger since, but nonetheless, I still find it quite comfortable. Little rest for my finger when it's off the trigger, out of the way when I want to pull it, little thumb groove here, and it still fits decently well. I'm not super disappointed with it. I found the stock was painted when I got it, and I don't know if anybody else is going to know this differently than I would, but I don't think you're supposed to paint wood necessarily unless you just don't care about it. And so on this gun stock, I was like, why don't I give it a good stain? So I stained it up nice and good, and the stock is actually in okay shape with the exception of some bangs on it and whatnot. You can see little scratches. I've had this for a long time, and looking it up, the gun was about $22 in the 60s when it was first being sold. And looking at old gun stuff nowadays, I can't find one of these hardly more than, oh, sorry, I'm like trying to put it on so you can kind of see. Goodness gracious. There we are. Yeah, so I cut the trigger guard off because the project I've done is I've put it in this, and I prefer the new trigger guard to the old one, so I just kind of cut it. So the gun wasn't in great shape when I got it, and it's not valuable today. All the old gun posts I can find, it's worth like $100 now. So I etched my last name into it, doing some Dremel tool tests. I've threaded this barrel multiple times. It's gotten quite short now from that. I measured it and we're still at 16 inches, so we're okay there. But I had to cut off the front sight in order to thread, and so the rear sight didn't have much use, hence the red dot. And I got this mount from Amazon for not anything outrageously expensive. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's kind of got some interesting mechanisms on the inside. Those of you who don't know what this is, or haven't seen this before, it's basically, you see there's no mag. I put my last name on it, so it's just a single shot bolt action rifle. You just put one in every time. It's nice and slow for new shooters, for what I realize at least. And even experienced shooters, people like me who've shot a lot of guns and for a long time, can appreciate this gun as well. This is arguably one of the most fun and inexpensive guns that I have, and it's old as dirt, no serial number. Here's all your markings, basically are just what's on the barrel. The Stevens Model 73, 22 short, long, and long rifle. I think it said Westfield, Massachusetts. I'm reading it backwards like you are, so it's, unless I want to flip it around, which I don't think I will. And there are some small markings on the barrel. Maybe I should flip it around for you guys. So, if it'll focus. I think it says 52U, and then there's a number 3 they just threw right there, but yeah, so I mean, that's, I don't know what those mean. Maybe somebody could comment in the comments and tell me what that's all about, but that's pretty much how it goes. The safety on this thing is right here. So it, whenever you cycle it, so it's off safety to push forward. And then kind of like an AR hammer. It's not striker or anything like that, like a lot of the new ones. And so when you push it back like that, it actually forces the safety back on every time. So you have to push it again to get it to cycle. See, it just did it again. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, so it'll do that every time. So that's off safety. Now it's on safety. I don't have any 22 bullets anywhere near the vicinity right now, so I have no issue pulling the trigger and messing with it like that. But I'll go ahead and throw it in the new one and show you guys. Okay, I sort of changed my mind. I'm going to try to show you guys how it goes in. So I 3D printed this off a Bamboo X1 carbon printer, and I drew it all up on SolidWorks that I have courtesy of my school, and it proved kind of difficult making it fit AR parts. You can kind of see in there that I drilled the hole, and that's where the grip goes on. This nice Magpul grip. And basically, the only things I had to change with the Dremel tool were I made this end a little bit more sloped so it just slides in a little easier. And then I had to etch out a little bit of the back there to make sure it fit. So pretty much just slides in like that and give it a nice little press, and it fits in decently well. I'm gonna go ahead and put the screw in. Actually, funny story. So the original screw that came with this, I no longer have. I think I stripped it out somehow, being a 13-year-old and all. And later on, I ended up actually, I just took this out of my dad's shop and then found the thread pitch and then tapped and drilled and tapped basically a new thread pattern in it to make it fit this bolt. It's not nearly as pretty, but it will do the trick. So I'll go ahead and throw that on and come back. Okay, so that is now attached and everything, good and sturdy. It's not the prettiest, not exactly the prettiest attachment or fixture, but it'll do. And I'm also planning to probably sand this down or give it a better coating so it doesn't look so 3D printed. Although this almost looks like wood, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, we'll see. This is actually my second print. This was the first one. It was too small for the rail that I bought, and it might not be the right rail, but it came from AccuTac. It's for bipods, but I just needed to make sure my Sig Sauer folding stock could fit on it, and it didn't quite fold correctly, so I dremeled off a little piece of this so that way it would stick when it folded. Yeah, I know, I'm horrible. I'm tearing up all kinds of nice stuff, but the way I look at it, I got this gun for free. The gun was in horrible shape when I got it. It's not worth that much now. And yeah, it's old, but I have plenty of other guns, and one day they will also be 60 years old, and I can take good care of those ones, but I don't think this one necessarily warrants that, especially considering how cheap it was when I got it. So then the next bit that I did, and in order to assemble this, I actually have in here this this UTG Pro AR-15 handguard that I bought. I specifically designed it. One second, I'm opening the bag. Specifically designed the frame around this particular handguard. So what I have to do is slide this down the barrel, the right way, preferably. So slide it down the barrel, and it's got little grooves inside that it slides in and sits in. I made them a little long, so I have to kind of, sorry about that. I have to line up the holes like so. And then from there I slide the handguard on, which I'll need both my hands for that. Okay, now that it's on my handy dandy workbench, oh man, I might need both my hands for this too. Unless I'm genius and just do this. But I can't tell what you guys are, I just put it under my chin. I can't tell what you guys are seeing. I'll just flip the camera around. I can prop it up on my Costco lemonade here. Okay. Excuse the mess. I am in the process of moving out. So, let's see, yeah, pretty much I put a screw in here, and then the screw meets with that little sliding collar that I threw down in there. So you won't have to watch me do this whole thing, fortunately. So I'll just go ahead and pause it, and by the time I'm done, the rest will be in, and you'll have no idea how long it took. And just like that, boom, all of the screws are in. Great. Only problem, it's not sitting, it's free float, but it doesn't look very good. So fortunately, we've thought of a thing for that. So I 3D printed this thing. It's basically just the profile of the inside of the handguard. It took like 30 minutes. But, oh, by the way, any of you who are 3D printing people, all of this is PETG, 100% infill. They'll, like, this took a half hour, but both of the chassis prints took like a solid 12 hours. So they were a little lengthy. There we are. And because the barrel tapers, this kind of self-tightens on the barrel. Is it the best? I mean, obviously we'd like it free float, but we got to do what we got to do, right? So also, this is a whip machine and tool dirty 30 can. So we can shoot it all quiet like and cool. So yeah, exciting stuff. And then this is what it looks like full length. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, so got our nice little SIG foldy stock for our XM7 spear thing. And like I said, doesn't fold amazing. Kind of wobbles a little bit because some idiot might have Dremel tooled it. But dang people. But yeah, so it folds nice and sturdy. Screwed the rail back in the back. Just drilled a hole directly for that puppy, like so. A little bit thinner than the threads, just screwed it right on in. And I'm not even sure these NC Star red dots. I honestly couldn't tell you if it's meant for railguns. So I might be getting a new one here in a little while, but it's pretty cool, right? Say, why don't we shoot this thing or something, you know? Would you look at that? Here we are. I'm gonna shoot it now. So basically what we got here is some Winchester super suppressed 45 grain subs, and just pop some of those out, and we can shoot it for you guys. Like I said, pretty much just one at a time. There's no mag, so drop it in, and then we're on safe still because the bolt does that every time. I've got, I don't know if you can see it. Actually, you can, right there. Little swinger target. That's pretty much it. After that, you just, where did I put those dang things? Right there. Just drop another one in. Take safety off. And plank. Like so. Just over and over again. Tons of fun for all the friends. Shoot one in the dirt so you guys can hear what that sounds like. This is a 30 caliber can, but I think it kind of sucks at 30 caliber or anything that's not this. Honestly. So it's whip machine and tool dirty 30, but it kind of has just turned into my 22 can, and then if I want to shoot anything bigger through it, I can. So Here's into the dirt. Nothing. Pretty much nothing. Well guys, I hope you liked my video of the Stevens Model 73 Frankenstein version. If you have any suggestions for anything you want me to do to it, to kind of fix it or change it, anything you saw with the frame itself that you think I could do to make it look a little bit less like a toy space gun or something weird like that, let me know in the comments. If you want to subscribe, I guess you can. I only have like 2 subs, so like I'm not really like trying to do anything here, but yeah, I guess if you want better video quality, hit that like button and subscribe or something, you know what? Yeah, something like that. I don't really care. Do whatever you want.